Good morning everyone and welcome to day 2 of Murakami Marathon. Woo! So yesterday my vlog was so freaking long because I finished after dark, so I had like my full discussion in that video. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go check it out because yeah, I read the buddy read in one day and it was great. Really enjoyed it. And today I'm actually really excited because my next read is Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World, which this is probably the book that I understood the least out of any Murakami book I've read, because I think this is a very complex book just to begin with, but also I read it so early on in my Murakami reading that if you like watch my first ever review for it, like I did when I first read it, I literally was basically like, I didn't get it. So I'm really hoping that this time around I will understand a lot more, especially because I have read up on a bunch of people who comment on that video, but also just read up on this book in general with theories, and I think I'm going to understand it a lot more. So I'm really hoping I enjoy this one. I feel like this could be a 5-star read, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I like actually really understood what this book was supposed to be about, I've kind of been like, I really want to reread it because I think it could be one of my favorite books by him. So basically this book follows 2 timelines. One is about kind of a mad scientist and his daughter, but also a fantasy world setting where there's unicorns that are dying. Question mark. Again, I think I'm gonna brush up really quick on some of the stuff that I read years ago about this and then dive into it. This one is a bit longer. I think this is the longest one on my TBR currently. It's 400 pages exactly, and I definitely want to annotate this one so that I understand it a little bit better. So this might be a little slow going. I definitely am not going to read this whole thing today, but I'm already ahead in my reading because I did have After Dark kind of planned for the first 2 days. I finished it in the first day, so I have some extra time with this one. Unfortunately this week and next week, these are the 2 weeks that I'm working 4 days a week rather than 3 days a week because of a couple of things. I want to save up some money because I'm going on a trip in July, and also my boyfriend's car broke, so I was kind of like, I have nothing better to do, so I'll work. So unfortunately today's my last day off to really sit down and read until the weekend, but at work I get to listen to audiobooks and stuff, so I will be doing that. But for today, I'm definitely planning on starting this. Definitely don't plan on finishing it. Hopefully gonna try to get like 150 pages into it, maybe 200, maybe halfway point, depends how I'm feeling. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this and maybe running a couple of errands later this afternoon. But yeah, it's like 11:30 and I have been a lazy piece of crap and haven't gotten out of bed besides to make my tea and breakfast. But yeah, it's just one of those days. Okay, so it's like 1:45. I still haven't read anything because I'm the #worst, but I just found our command strips that I've been looking for. My dad called me and told me where they were, but I'm gonna hang up a couple of things in my room. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize how much, I'm loving that everyone is participating on Twitter. It's been a lot of fun in the group chat, but also just like my daily discussion questions. But also, I'm like, I literally sat down like an hour ago to read, and I haven't read a single page. Maybe over an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. I haven't read anything because I keep stopping to answer Twitter stuff. So I need to actually sit down and just read after I hang this stuff up. I also think I'm low-key a little bit scared to read Hardboiled Wonderland just because it is the book that I understood so little. So I'm kind of like, oh no, what if I read it, I still don't understand it? That would really suck. But I hope I will understand it. I just reviewed some of the comments on my original review for that, so I kind of have an idea of what it's about going into it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do this really quick and then hopefully actually sit down and read. Hello everyone, so it is just about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Honestly, this has been very slow reading so far, with a couple of reasons. One, I'm not super in the mood to read today. After reading the entirety of After Dark yesterday, I feel a little bit like, not burned out, but just kind of like, want to do other things today. Also, I have been very active. Everyone's been very active over on Twitter and Instagram, and I've been responding to everyone and chatting with everyone over there. So that's definitely taken up quite a bit of time, as I mentioned earlier, as well as I'm really trying to read every single word of this and really try to make sense of it, because as I mentioned earlier, this is the book that I understood the least out of all of Murakami's books when I first read them. So I really want to make sure I fully understand what's going on. That being said, I am only 60 pages into this, which, yeah, like I said, very slow going at the moment. But I figured I would chat through some of the stuff that I've noticed. So first off, I always put my tabs in at the end of the day, and so here is my key so far. So blue is parallel worlds again, orange is quotes, yellow is memory, green is time, this dark purple is sound, red is allusions to other books or things, and this lighter purple is just other / weird stuff that pops up. A lot of this isn't really going to be spoiler territory in case you're scared of me saying something, because again, I've only read 60 pages of the book, so. So the first thing that I noticed was on page 3, and it was basically him talking about this idea of the right and left brain, and he talks about it quite a bit, and he talks about it in the sense that he like can reach into both of his pockets with both hands and like separate his brain and like use one half to do one thing and the other half to do another thing and all of this. And I was kind of like, okay, if we're going with parallel worlds and Murakami liking his parallel worlds, are we gonna say like one half of the brain is one reality and the other is the opposite reality? Because this book very, very obviously deals with parallel worlds. There's 2 worlds in this book. I kind of was like, is one half of his brain one reality and one half the other part of his reality? One thing I noticed immediately was on page 5, he also mentions people watching him with a hidden TV camera. That made me think of After Dark and all of the camera stuff with After Dark. Obviously, if you look here, I think the most tabs is actually sound so far. I feel like this book has a lot to do with sounds, and it starts pretty straight off. The biggest thing that I didn't like so far about this is on page 8. Just this entire page is a big oof. Basically, he's talking about the girl who like meets him at the elevator being fat, and he basically is like, I have fat friends, so I'm not fat phobic. And I'm like, okay, why did you just go on for like 4 paragraphs about her being fat? So next thing is just a quote that the gatekeeper says in the fantasy kind of world. I like this quote, but the man who just arrived at the town, he's talking to him and he says, nobody but you watches the animals. You just got here though, you get used to living here and things fall into place. You lose interest in them. Everybody does. And that I kind of felt like was Murakami making a comment about how people take everything in life, like everyday life, for granted, even if it is something beautiful. So even though these unicorns are beautiful, the people who live there don't really pay attention to them because they're very just part of their everyday life. There's about to be the Scrivener illusion, because the girl asks him to put this thing on and he's like, I really would have preferred not to, and I was like, haha, Bartleby the Scrivener. Another thing I kind of made a comment about was that when he is going to the grandfather's laboratory, which he has to go through like a waterfall and like an underground chasm type thing, it felt very much like a fairy tale when the woman was talking to him, because she was like, oh, beyond that is grandfather's laboratory, you'll find out everything once you get there. You mustn't stray from the river or go down a side path, like you must just go straight ahead through the waterfall. And to me that just felt very fairy tale like, because I feel like in fairy tales it's always like, you can't do this straying from the path, you have to just go straight forward, and the main character always strays from the path and something happens. Of course, our main character doesn't do that. more about sound. Oh, okay, so this is a little bit spoilery, but not really. It's just kind of Murakami world, my speculation. Page 26, he makes a comment about how he's gone through all the waterfall and everything, and he ends up in another room that looks exactly the same as the previous room that he was in, and this just made me think about how I had the theory in yesterday's vlog with After Dark that everyone in Murakami's books can move between the two realities, his own and the real Tokyo, and this scientist's way to get between the parallel worlds is to go through his office or possibly the elevator that the main character goes in at the beginning. That is a very weird elevator. There's quite a bit of focus on time and running out of time and there not being enough time, and if you're late something bad is gonna happen. That kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, like the White Rabbit. This was not a real like comment, but it just when in the fantasy world they're explaining about the dream reader and giving him the job as the dream reader, it just reminded me a lot of Strange the Dreamer, and I kind of was like, I wonder if Laini Taylor got inspiration from this book. I don't know, it just felt a little bit similar in vibe and also kind of in story. And then on page 40, this is a little bit of spoilers, but again, not really. I really don't know what to say is spoilers and what's not. The gatekeeper like makes him into the dream reader by putting a knife through his eye and like giving him these scars, and he says, you must be aware of light, hear me now, your eyes cannot see the light of day, if your eyes even look at the light of sun you will regret it. And then he says, so I lost the light of day, and then the gatekeeper makes him wear a pair of black glasses at all times except for when he sleeps. And I kind of thought that this might be an allusion to just dystopia in general, because like they're literally blinding the main character and putting a filter over what he sees with the glasses, and also by making him not look at the sun and lose like privilege to see the sun. And then I made a couple parallels just between the two stories that we are reading from, which I definitely I still feel like I'm struggling a little bit with. I don't know if there really is that much so far, but that was my biggest struggle the first time I read it, was I didn't see the connections between the two stories, which this time I'm seeing a little bit more, but I still don't know if I missed some. Another thing I found really interesting is that the main character is called a calcutech, which is basically a job, and he works with numbers and math and computers and stuff, but like the way that they talk about calcutechs, it makes it seem like they're not human, which is really, really weird. Like it literally says, it's been less than 10 years since the whole calculus profession began, so nobody really knows what the life expectancy ought to be. Some say 10 years, others say 20, which I'm like, why would sitting at a desk working with numbers like decrease your life expectancy? And also like this whole section, page 54 and 55, when he's talking to the young girl, they're just like talking to him about his profession like he's like an alien, and I was kind of like, what's up with that? And that's all of the things I've made so far. Obviously, just a kind of overarching thing is that we're not getting any names in this book, similar to the Rat series and similar to a lot of Murakami's books. I have always kind of had the opinion that all of his unnamed narrators are supposed to be the same person, or the lack of a person. I kind of have the theory that all of the unnamed narrators, but also just his narrators in general, because I would say this about Tango from Winterberg Chronicle also, they're not supposed to really be like real people. They're supposed to be like an archetype of a person who just has something happen to them more than actually like has a life or lives or does anything themselves. So yeah, that is definitely how this character is. There's been quite a few instances where he kind of questions something, but then he just like brushes it over and is like, okay, I'll just go along with it. And I'm like, normal people would be like, what the fuck? So I don't know, I always have the opinion that I think our narrators aren't really supposed to be actual characters. They're just kind of supposed to be like bodies for something to happen to. But I will see if that opinion stays true for this book as I continue reading. So yeah, those are my opinions so far. Again, it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I am going to go run some errands. I might come home and read some more, but I honestly really want to read Recursion by Blake Crouch. So I might not read any more Murakami, but it's fine. everything's fine. I'm way ahead of my reading schedule. I only have 5 books on my TBR, and I read way more than 5 books in a week. So, or 2 weeks. Oh my god, I read 5 books in 1 week. So, like 5 books in 2 weeks, I will totally get this read in the next little while. So, I'm not too worried that I didn't read that much today. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to go run some errands. Alright, so I was just about to leave to go run my errands, but I got a couple of packages. So I have 2 from Thrift Book, which I know what these are. Don't know which one's which, but let's get into them. Oh, okay. This is a book that was recommended to me by a subscriber on a video a little while ago. And that is It Happened in Boston by Russell Greenham. I can't remember what book I think it was Middle Game. I was talking about Middle Game, and someone recommended this as something similar in vibe to Middle Game. So I decided to pick it up because I actually needed another book in a Thrift Books order to make it $10, and this one was on there. I have never heard of this, never heard anyone talking about it, really don't know what it's about. Just going on a recommendation from a subscriber because I've done that a couple of times and I have not been disappointed. Yes, okay, so we have Your Lie in April, Volume 3. I also got Volume 4 yesterday, so now I have 2, 3, and 4 to read, which I've been really liking this one. So, and now I have an Amazon package. I don't remember buying anything off Amazon unless this is something. Oh my gosh, okay, so. Okay, well, this is kind of, I don't think this is supposed to be a secret, but I am actually working with the company Clever Fox who do journals, and they sent me their bullet journal. I'm going to be using this for about a month and then doing a video all about journaling, and I'm so excited to be using this. Oh my god, wait, I did not know this was coming this quick. I thought it was coming in the next couple of days, but if you guys don't know, I do bullet journal. I don't really traditional bullet journal, I guess. I have a planner and I have a bullet journal, but my bullet journal isn't a real bullet journal. It's literally just like a notebook. So I was really excited when they reached out to me about trying out their bullet journal. Ooh, this is really nice. I also really like the size of this. It's a little bit smaller than the notebook that I'm currently using. So here it is. Then we have some stickers. Ooh, always like some stickers. And then it has, oh my god, it has 3 bookmarks. It's got 3 different bookmarks to use, and then it is dotted. I've never used a dotted notebook. Oh my god, yes! The freaking page numbers are already there for you. That's awesome. I have never used a dotted notebook before, so I'm actually really excited to give this a try. But yeah, that's my little haul. Bullet journal and 2 books. Pretty good. Pretty excited about this. This is great. Okay, but now we're gonna go run some errands. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the vlog here. My plans for the rest of the night are to watch the new Save Dream episode, eat my sushi, because it looks so good. I'm so excited about this sushi. It was also on week of special of the week, which is like the role I normally get anyway, so that was really nice. I'm going to eat, watch NCT Dream, and then take a shower and read Recursion by Blake Crouch. So I'm not going to be doing any more Murakami reading, so I think I will end this vlog here. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and definitely tell me how your day 2 of the Murakami marathon went, and I love you all, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!